Welcome to UPSC Preparation Diet 19. Today we are going to solve questions from General Studies Paper 1 2024. So let's start with the first question. Consider Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiyan. Which of the statements are correct? Provisions will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha. This will be in force for 15 years after becoming an act. There are provisions for the reservation of seats for scheduled caste women within the quota reserved for scheduled caste. Which of the statements are correct? So the first and the third statement correct. That is, in regards to Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiyan, provisions will come into effect from 18th Lok Sabha, and there are provision for the reservation of seats for scheduled caste women within the quota reserved for scheduled caste. Which statement about exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 are correct? This was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. It commenced in Earth. Joint response during counter-terrorism operation was the goal of this operation. Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. So the correct answer is option 2, 3 and 4. So exercise Mitra Shakti Abhiyan was indeed commenced in Aundh, and joint response during counter-terrorism operation was a goal of this operation, and Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. But exercise Mitra Shakti was a joint operation between India and Sri Lanka, not Bangladesh. A writ of prohibition is an order caused by Supreme Court or High Court to what? Answer will be to the lower court prohibiting continuation of proceeding in a case. So what do you mean by basically writ of prohibition? It is an order issued by the higher court, Supreme Court or High Court, to the lower court prohibiting continuation of proceeding in a case. Consider the following statement. It is the governor of state who recognizes and declares any community of that state as a scheduled tribe. A community declared as a scheduled tribe in a state need not be so in another state. Only the second option is correct. That is, a community declared as a scheduled tribe in a state need not be so in another state. It is the president and not the governor who decides and declares any community as scheduled tribe. So another point to be remembered from this, that it is the president and not the governor who decides which community has to be labeled as scheduled tribe. Next, consider the following statement. Suez Pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. Suez Pipeline connects Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea. So both the statement are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation for statement 1. So Suez Pipeline is indeed a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe, and Suez Pipeline connects Red Sea with Mediterranean Sea. Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form. No water enters the Red Sea from rivers, which are correct. Both the options are correct. That is, Red Sea receives very little precipitation in any form, and no water enters the Red Sea from rivers. Next question. According to Environmental Protection Agency EPA, which one of the following is the largest source of sulfur dioxide emission? So the answer will be power plants using fossil fuels. So those power plants who use fossil fuel create the largest source of sulfur dioxide emission. Next question, statement 1. There is instability and worsening security situation in the Sahel region. Statement 2. There have been military takeover or coups d'etat in several countries. So both one and second option are correct, and second option is the correct explanation of first one. Next, India does not export apple for USA. In India, law prohibits the import of GM food with the approval of competent authority. Only the second option is correct. Next question, with reference to Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following. While any resolution for removal of Speaker of Lok Sabha is under, he or she shall not preside, he or she shall not have the right to speak, he or she shall not be entitled to vote on the resolution in the first instance. Which options are correct? Only the first option is correct. That is, with reference to Speaker of Lok Sabha, while a resolution for removal of Speaker of Lok Sabha is under, he and she shall not preside. Next option, a bill pending in Lok Sabha lapses on its dissolution. A bill passed by Lok Sabha and pending in Rajya Sabha lapses on dissolution of Lok Sabha. A bill in regard to which President of India notified his or her intention to summon in the houses to a joint sitting lapses on dissolution of Lok Sabha. Which option is correct? Only the first and second options are correct. Prorogation of a house by President of India does not require suggestion of Council of Ministers. Prorogation of a house is generally done after house is adjourned sitting. Dissolution of Lok Sabha is done by President of India who save in exceptional cases does so on the advice of Council of Ministers. So the correct option is 1 and 3. Consider the following. European Parliament approved the Net Zero Industry Act recently. EU intends to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040. Only the first option is correct. Next, recently Venezuela has achieved a rapid recovery from its economic crisis and succeeded in preventing its people from fleeing emigrating to other countries. Statement 2, Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserve. Only the second statement is correct. With reference to Digital India Land Record Modernization Program, consider the following. To implement the scheme, central government provides 100% funding. Under the scheme, cadastral maps are digitized. An initiative has been undertaken to transliterate the records of rights from local language to any of the language recognized by Constitution of India. Only the first and third options are correct. Next question, Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. So what is this scheme? This scheme guarantees a minimum package of antenatal service to women in their second and third trimester and 6 months post-delivery healthcare service in any government health facility. Next question, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. Which is correct? Only statement 2 and 3 are correct. And what are those statements? Each specific contribution shall be made by the beneficiary, and each subscriber under the scheme shall receive a minimum pension of 3,000 rupees per month after attaining the age of 60 years. So this was all about General Studies Paper 1 2024. See you in our next video. Thank you so much for joining.